All right, thank you and welcome. We have our racing beginning now. It is Friday Night Racing here at the Velodrome. Thank you for joining us here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome in Redmond, Washington, where we are 1 week away from kicking off the regular season. We're in our preseason right now. Friday Night Racing coming to you with first our open women's category racing in a 3x4 points race, a 12-lap contest coming to the rail now. The open women field, please, followed by the Cat 1-2s. And the sound of the whistle starts the neutral lap here for our first group. This is going to be a points race. It's going to be some opportunities for the riders to get points on points laps. You're going to hear a bell that signals the beginning of a sprint, which will earn the riders 5, 3, 2, and 1 on those special laps. The most number of points at the end of the race, of course, will be your winner. In a points race, we also got to keep track. The last sprint is worth double, 10, 6, 4, and 2 to the lead rider on the final lap. Currently in the neutral, you're going to see this quite a bit tonight, as our races will all start from the neutral here this evening. And when they get to turn 4 on this very first time around the track, if they're all together, the officials will give the sound from the whistle and the race will be underway. And the racing is now underway, a 12-lap race in the works. And in the very first race tonight, again, we're going out for a points race. These competitors are going to be having 3 opportunities here today to try to pick up some points. It's going to be pretty frequent in this short race, and at each of the opportunities, you will hear a bell from the lap cards down there on the finish line area, so that'll let you know when the sprinting's underway for the points. So we'll keep track of that. And the early goings, it's 0 points to all of our riders. They're just preparing themselves for that first jump, that first attack, the first fight for points coming up here shortly. So Emily Alexander for Liquid Velo pulling off the front on that half lap and leaving room for the all blue kid over there. That's going to be Kelly Darlene wearing number 9, taking a half pull there on the back straight. In a 3x4 points race, if you're looking at our schedule, that means there's going to be 3 opportunities and they're separated by 4 laps. So the first bell coming up next time around the track, that'll be indicating it's time to sprint. So one more time around as the riders sort of feel things out. A little bit more of a warm-up opportunity in this first race, kind of getting into the pack, getting a sense of where you want to be, see who's showing up to compete tonight. And now comes the setup. As you can see, the back end doesn't want to sit in the back. They want to try to crowd towards the front a bit. And you'll see this kind of as we lead into the action, riders are going to try to push themselves more towards the front. They want to get close to that finish line before the sprint is engaged, especially at that kind of intermediate tempo the riders were in on the back half. Heather Nielsen leading out this first sprint and our first opportunity. Not up to top speed yet, but points are going to be next time around, so a little bit of hesitation. Charlotte Westover with the orange bike makes a nice move around the right side, trying to dive at things a bit here as Heather still leading from the front. The rider in the all blue still on the front of this one. Here it comes. Westover side by side in this first opportunity for points down the back straight. The two of them lining up side by side now. Nielsen pulling ahead slightly into turn 3. And here comes the counterpunch from one of our juniors. A nice big swing out of turn 4. Looks like it's going to be Scoville picking up 5. Timing it nicely from the about 5 or 6 wheels back. It's Heather Nielsen. Charlotte Westover picks up 3 and 2. And that was Lucy Dorr, number 203, I believe, getting the 1 point on the back of that sprint. You're going to want to keep your eyes on Danny Scoville, as she's wearing bib number 1 for a reason. She was our top points getter last season in this field. A junior rider for the Jerry Baker Juniors team, and always a rider to watch, up and coming and stronger every year. Off to a good start here. Wearing number 3, also Heather Nielsen with a great season last year, coming out once again here early on to get ready for another competitive 2023. That's rider number 3, who was in the contention for that last sprint. Bunching back together again and preparing for the next opportunity to go for the points. On deck, Cat 1-2 men here just a few laps out. Thank you for joining us here in the Velodrome, or if you're tuning in on YouTube, thanks for tuning in on the live stream. We hope you're enjoying the view from out there. A little choppy sometimes at the beginning of our streams lately. We apologize. Things do tend to even out quickly. Hopefully the audio is still nice and clear for you out there. And thanks again for tuning in. Again, if you're here in person and you'd like to share with family and friends that you're watching some pretty interesting racing here in Redmond, Washington, you can go to velodrome.org/live. You can see today's schedule, and you can grab that live stream link, share it on all the socials. Let folks know that you're enjoying some great stuff here in Marymoor Park. We are the last of our kind up here in this corner of the United States, and it's a great facility with a great set of teams and a lot of riders that show up every week. It's a great show here in Redmond. We're only going during the months where it's not raining too much. So we've just started racing a week ago, really, and we go through the summer months. Good action here on this second sprint from Heather. It looks like, a teammate to Heather. That's number 88, Catherine Wade-Easley. Sneaking up into the front at the beginning of this sprint, starting to pull things away from the front of the field. There's Kelly Darlene, number 9. Another one of our younger riders. She's gone off to college for the off season, and she's back during the racing season to put in some miles here on the Velodrome. Number 9 now takes the lead spot as Darlene leads things out around through turn 4. Here comes Scoville with the blue helmet, trying to come in and take the 5. She's got good pace. It'll be Scoville, and yes, it will be Scoville for 5. Give 9 for Darlene, Darlene picks up 3 points, and number 3 picks up 2 on that one. Yeah, good stuff here. Trying to pull away from the rest of the group. A group of 3, making it fast. The field has to respond if they want to stay in contention for upcoming points opportunities. That's Darlene, number 9, leading out a group of 2 behind her. Looks to be Nielsen and Scoville, if I'm not mistaken, from over here, had made the jump up to try to push ahead a bit. Possibly thinning this group down quite a bit as a result. It's still Scoville with the lead. She's got 10 points after 2 sprints. Nielsen and Darlene picking up 3 in each of theirs. They're trying to keep it close. And our leader is on the back straight right now, hitting turn 3. The chase being led by Amar Edwards right now in the green and blue. Team Mama Bear almost within striking distance, but just out of reach, and it's going to get faster here as we're coming into the final lap. It's the sprint for double points. 10-6, 4 and 2 here on the final lap. 1 to go, 1 to go. Darlene driving the pace here nicely. Lucy Dorr does the effort to make the break across into the lead group. So nice job for another one of the Jerry Baker Jr. riders to identify the threat and get up there. Down the back straight will be the race for the final points. So we're going to keep our attention there as Heather Nielsen trying to make the move around the back straight and into turn 3. She's going to try to see if she can get down that sprinter's lane, maybe staying a little high, leaving some room for Darlene to control back in that sprinter's lane. That's good for Darlene, who's going to try to move her way right back up again down on the home straight. Darlene fighting for the 10. Darlene still in pace. Darlene for 10 on this last sprint. Scoville for 6. That'll move Kelly right up into second in the overall finishing order. Scoville knew she just needed a few more. With 6, she'll guarantee her victory in that one. So Schofield, the speedster, picks up a victory in this first race tonight. And all of the competitors in the open women field will exit on the back straight. Here come the Cat 1-2 men for their take at the points race. Our next field now coming up to the rail. On deck, we're going to be looking for the Cat 4 men. Cat 4 men on deck. And the whistle once again, the neutral lap underway. We'll get him started out of turn 4 if it's all looking together. Four by 4 for this one, so it's 4 sprints every 4 laps for a total of 16. The first bell at 13 to go, and then again every 4 laps after that with double points on the last sprint. So all the rules work essentially the same, just another set of 4 laps and 1 more sprint for the Cat 1-2s. Another great size field here early in our preseason. It's been awesome to have these groups of over 20 riders here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome, and this is a group of I think 24 or 25 that lined up today. It's a really good sign for us here this season, and so we're looking forward to some good racing here tonight and for weeks to come. And that is the start of racing. Out of turn 4, they will begin. 16 to go. First bell at 13. One of our many great sponsors, DBC Photos here, taking pictures of the action. Thanks, Dennis, for making your way all the way down to the Velodrome with the big camera gear. He's down there in turn 4. You can check out some great photos of the racing action afterwards. dbcphoto.com. Again, dbcphoto.com. Nice early push here from a group of 3, moving away from the field, causing a bit of reaction. So some great speed early on for this small unit, trying to pull away and make something happen. It's Rad Cunningham of the Keller Rohrbach team in the black with that neon green decides to get active early on. I believe that's Christian Miller, Ben Flom, who decide to match pace and make it interesting in the early goings. Not for long, as it looks like the field, they're fresh, they're ready. This is their first race tonight. Everybody's going to do the work to try to catch down this kind of movement. Miller says, yeah, I see them right there. This is good. I've done enough work for now. Let's get back and refresh. At 14 to go. Number 126 on the front is Ben Flom. He's racing for the Fell Swoop team. The big eye in the blue and the orange pulls off in the front. Cunningham at the front for a moment. He's going to pull up to the blue line too and slow things down, as it looks like Ben Flom wants to stay up there. So rather than pulling off and getting to the back of the group, he's going to continue to stay near the front. And now you'll see riders start to bunch and prepare. They know the bell's coming. There's the bell for our first sprint. 13 to go. Points next time around. Number 121, Sam Frigo, looking very strong last week. Oh, here we go. Gene Johnson in the all blue. 2 riders at the front of this one are going to lead this thing down the back straight. And you've also got the green of Fount Cycling Guild. Rounding the corner, it looks like it's going to be Fount having the best of this one. Brennan Russell coming out on the lead of the lap now. The rider in green will take the first 5. A good fight for Sam Frigo to still get 3. His teammate Chris Wilson, the rider in blue, for 2. And I believe that's the white jersey, the white helmet, picking up the 1 point unofficially. Good early sprint, our early leader, Brendan Russell, with a nice move on that first one. Comes around out of turn 3 and leads things out, picks up the first 5. He's backed himself up a little bit in the group. He's about midway in that group of 3 between the lead and the back right now. He's still in contention for sure, taking a bit of rest before the next bell's ringing. At 10 to go, we'll hear one next time around for the second sprint. Christian Miller at the lead in that white with the slick black helmet. Sandoval, number 101, did find 1 point in the last sprint. That's the rider with almost all white. It's got a hint of green, and he's got a red bike near the front of this race right now, but we've got to push away the solo rider now making the move early on at 9 to go. Matty Hers, number 104 for the coefficient of speed, trying to go get 5. Sandoval in the lead of the chase right now. Chip Chase, number 117, also in the lineup. There's Gene Johnson cycling third in that lineup in the chase behind the lead rider. Down the backstraight, let's see if our riders can catch. That's Mr. G for the Dyna Racing team looking to maybe jump up there. Still Matty Hers, he's got plenty of room in front of him. Let's see, looks like Matty's on the way to collect the 5. Good move for Hers, he'll find the 5 points. Now the sprint is on for 3. It'll be the move from our Gene Johnson rider around the right side. Number 130, it's Galen Erickson. And here we go, 2 riders in the blue, the same team, that found themselves in a really good spot to compete from the front of the race. And this is to both of their advantage right now. Off we go for the break of 2. Looks like we've got some disorganized chase behind them right now. We're just going into the Stanley sign with what looks like a group of 3 that are sort of hesitating. That's Christian Miller trying to shuffle his way up now too. Seeing 6 to go as the leaders come down. The chase is being led right now by the rider in white with the black helmet. That's Christian Miller, next closest rider to the leaders at 6 to go. He's got Ben Flom with him. The points are from Ben Flom and forward. Everybody behind the blue and orange on the back straight is out of the points on the next sprint. Two-way tie between Matty Hers and Brandon Russell for the lead. Galen Erickson with 3 points, as well as Sam Frigo. Chris Wilson with 2. Scott Grinsel with 2. Mario Sandoval with 1. The unofficial call currently. With 5 to go, there's another bell. Your 2 leaders come across first. There's 2 in the chase. Flom's starting to look like he might be able to climb this hill and get up there. Might be hard to do it while the sprint is engaged, but let's see how the 2 leaders, if they're going to fight this one out or not. The bell's ringing for the field as they come across the line at 5 to go. Looks like Flom is still riding really well here, hitting turn 3. Might force the riders at the front to do a bit more work here for the points. Galen Erickson will re-accelerate himself a bit as it looks like at 4 to go. He'll find 5 more. There's Flom for 3. 131 is Matthew Brady picking up 2, and Christian Miller for the solo ride there behind the leaders picks up 1. Our leader now, Galen Erickson with 8 points. 2 riders with 5 is Matty Hers, and Brandon Russell tied for second place behind him. I got a couple riders at 3 points is Ben Flom and Sam Frigo. That should be a good tie, I believe, at 4th right now overall. And then a couple more points going out to Matthew Brady for 2. Scott Grinsel has 2. Chris Wilson with 2. Christian Miller 1. Mario Sandoval 1. That call unofficial. The leaders coming out of turn 4. It's that group of 3. The next closest group is over under the Stanley sign just now in turn 3. We can see it's a pretty big gap here for the lead group of 3. They've definitely got the top points under control with only 2 to go. So they'll be sprinting for 10. The chase group of 5 here just now crossing the finish line. They're the next closest riders on the track, would be fighting for just 2 points in the next sprint. Our last opportunity to pick up points. Your leader, Galen Erickson, number 130, swings high. The rider in the blue with the white helmet, the rider with 8 points. It'll be Ben Flom, the rider in orange. Here's the bell first. It's 1 to go. 1 to go. Flom, 126, drive at the pace nicely here. That's right, folks. I see like 3 or 4 of you in turn 1 making noise for the riders as they go by. You have permission. It's all right. Bell's ringing, it's 1 to go. Another sprint going to be coming out of the field for 2 points. We'll check that out shortly. Here, going back to our leaders. Looks like it's going to be Matthew Brady, the rider with the black helmet and the blue, leading out the sprint now as they hit the turn. And Ben Flom losing a little bit of pace, but Galen Erickson in great form here early in the season, wearing the colors of Gene Johnson Cycling. Galen Erickson will take the Big Ten and take the first victory here today. Matthew Brady, number 131, picks up another 6. He'll take an overall second place finish, I believe, unofficially, and that will give 4 points to Mr. Ben Flom. Out of the group for the sprint for 2. Looks like that's going to be Matty Hers finding some more. The rider for coefficient of speed, number 104, finds 2 more points, and that'll keep him up in the top 5 or so region of this race. So good finish for him as well. Nice racing for the Cat 1-2 men, and they'll exit on the back straight as all the racing is wrapped up. Let's bring up our next group here shortly. It looks like everybody's off the track and good. Indeed, the Cat 4 men, come on down to the rail, please. Twelve laps on the cards, and we have ourselves a 3x4. This is going to look a lot like that first race that we saw. Same rules apply for the points race as we've been seeing in the last 2 competitions. 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders, and double on the final sprint. Riders are in the neutral. We'll get them started out of turn 4. On deck, Cat 3 men, our final of the points races before the Marymoor Crawl. So riders that want to jump in on the open Marymoor Crawl, that's coming up here pretty soon. If you're out there enjoying the stream, thanks for joining us on YouTube. We're bringing the action to you every single Friday night and for all of our special races all throughout the season. If you like the production, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe on the channel if you already haven't done so, and it would really help us out if you also could go ahead and share the video with some friends and family. Let them know that there's some pretty cool stuff going up here in Redmond, Washington. Again, you can get to that link if you're here in person, velodrome.org/live to get a link here at the Velodrome. And the whistle means racing is underway. Cat 4 men out and away. Hey, I don't know how many of you are new here to racing. Maybe you're tuning in for the first time or checking this out just in the park and heard some noise, heard some crazy voice yelling out over the Velodrome and decided to come check it out. We use a lot of vocabulary here, so I like to just make sure people know what we're saying. Categories just refers to the riders, how they are set and seated within these different groups based on the successes that they've had as a rider. So Cat 4 is essentially the riders that have gotten out of the beginning class. They are allowed to compete in this group. As riders do well in these fields, they move their way up. So this is sort of intended as your local competitive field, right? Riders that take an adult class or are juniors that are coming up through programs, you'll see them out here competing. even on the Friday nights during the season. And indeed, a lot of them will also compete on Monday nights for some of the beginning and junior races that's going on. Then on Wednesday nights for our Cat 4 competitors. There's lots of opportunities for the newest members of the community to come out and compete and get upgrade points. As they get those upgrade points, they then can apply those to their racing license and work their way up through the system. So when you hear those categories, that's kind of what you're seeing and looking at. So this is going to, as you can tell, there's quite a few of the riders in that black and blue jersey. Some of our young junior competitors on the local Jerry Baker Juniors team. And then you also see some riders, kind of a normal thing you'll notice our Cat 1-2 man. It looks like everybody's got matching colors. What's going on there? Well, riders are finding organized teams. Not always the case for new riders. They may not have found a team, and it's no requirement that you have one to start racing. So just out here in good athletic gear and doing the thing and getting the miles and learning the skills. Here comes the first bell for points at 9 to go. Our Cat 4 field looking over the shoulder there. That's number 401, Mike Westover. Looking ready to pounce. He'll wait for the group underneath him to take the sprinter's lane and start to push things forward. Down the back straight, pretty bunched up behind about 3 or 4 riders who have kind of pulled away into single file. Lots of movement now around about 3 or 4 bikes back as they're trying to crunch their way out of turn 4. Good move here for Dyna Racing, though, as the first points will be clean. That's 5 for number 406, number 420, I believe, getting the 3 points. The early leader, Jamie Park with 5 points, Quinn Kennedy with 3, Trevor Matsushima with 2, and Gavin Newman with 1. Always happy to see our Portland competitors making the way up. Gavin Newman, number 421, and his teammate 422, Jack Hampson, in the field here today. Trevor Matsushima with a rider with 2 points, still shows hometown is Los Angeles competing here. But I think he's in for the season. We've seen him now a couple weeks in a row. Bell's ringing at 5 to go. And there is one of those riders from Portland, the Team Epic, number 421, Gavin, leading things out for a moment as the bell's ringing. He brings with him some of the other points getters in that first sprint. That's Quinn Kennedy. They have, I believe, the 3 points. So they took second in that last sprint, and they now lead the sprint down the back straight. Jamie Park, the leader, sitting in the second wheel, but he's going to be overtaken big time here. It's getting busy on that back straight again as riders are kind of navigating this pretty big crowd. At 4 to go, let's see who will pick up the big points. Nice move away from the field, clearing away. Number 423 picks it up. 406 for 3, 420 for 2, and I believe Gavin Newman again for 1 unofficially. Unofficially, I have the points totals as Jamie Park in the lead with 8. A tie for second between Quinn Kennedy and Ryan Havel. I've got 2 points to both Gavin Newman and Trevor Matsushima, and a tie for 4th overall. 3 to go. And those last moves you can see have sort of pulled this field apart. Not unusual in a points race. It's the most likely where the field becomes sort of nebulous. Where is the field, right? We have to kind of define that as we go through the race. Well, it looks like we've had a catch, so the main riders have caught up to a pretty big group on the back straight. So the lead of the race is underneath the Stanley sign in turn 3. The riders that are on the home straight now are technically behind those riders. Now seeing 2 to go as this group with Dyna Racing on the front. That's going to be number 406, your race leader right now, Jamie Park, leading the group around through turn 1 as he pulls up and out of the way. The rest of your race leaders are also in the mix there. I see a question on the live chat from YouTube. Thanks for the question. Yes, it is preseason. Technically, we're a week out from the kickoff, so don't forget to come on out if you're nearby here in Redmond and want to come watch some great racing or tune in on the live stream. The regular season starts with the full production and the whole full show, and of course the beverage garden and the food trucks next Friday. Bell's ringing, and it's one to go. Oh, here we go. Up and out of the saddle. Number 4 is Trevor Matsushima and makes a nice move across the finish line and off onto the final sprint. Around the corner, it looks like that might be a member of Team Epic holding onto the front wheel is Jack Hampson looking for his first points. Quinn Kennedy also trying to stay in on this one. The rider in third in the lineup right now has quite a few points. It's a tie for second. He wants to get on this one. Here comes the run from behind. This is not settled yet. It's going to be 4 riders across the track. A good sprint here for the Cat 4 men. Whoa! 408 takes it. It's Gavin Newman at the blue line for second across the line. I think your race leader, Jamie Park, only got 4 in that sprint. Should be enough to hold on to the lead, though, if I did the math quickly, as you'll end up with over 10 in his totals. And all the riders, please exit on the back straight as you cross the finish line. Everybody's finishing up on this lap. Nice job for the Cat 4s. Just a moment here for our last points race, the Cat 3s. Yes, indeed. The kickoff is next weekend. Riders registration is open and ready. 26th and 27th. We got 2 evenings. On the 26th, it's a normal Friday night 7 o'clock start, and on the 27th, it's a 6 o'clock start. And for the fans out there, that's 2 evenings of beverage gardens and food trucks. That's 2 evenings of good mass start racing like you're seeing here tonight. We expect even more athletes to be showing up for those evenings. Our kickoff usually draws a bigger crowd, both on the inside and the outside of the Velodrome. So we look forward to having that happen. That's next Friday, 7 o'clock, and next Saturday, 6 o'clock, the kickoff. Cat 3 men off for their points race, another 12-lap event. And we'll have just this group left to go on the points race before we bring out the Marymoor Crawl. Coming up next. And the whistle's signaling the beginning of racing. Cat 3 men, 12 laps on the cards. Another points race. We're well adjusted to this one by now. Let's see how these competitors ride this one. Another good sized field today. Basically all of our groups showing up in great quantities here in the early goings of the season. I don't want to jinx it, but it is looking really good for 2023 if we can just add and build from here. Three sprints every 4 laps. First one coming up when the bell shows 9 to go. Seeing 11 as Mike Ritter crosses the line at the front of the group on that lap. Quite a bit of rotation here at the front of the field. A decent pace in the early goings for this group. Trying to be a little bit conservative here, but Not saving a whole lot of energy in the very few first laps. Here comes Gene Wainwright now to take the lead down the back straight as he goes past the Greg Cycle sign in turn 2. This should be setting them up for the first bell, and much like we saw, this reminds me a little bit of the open women's field on this first sprint. We had sort of a lead group off the front of the field, and then it bunched at the back as riders knew they wanted to get up a bit closer before the bell was ringing, so everybody bunches out of turn 4, and now our first sprint for points. Bell's ringing at 9 to go. Stanley Douglas for Flow Cycling trying to guard the front a little bit. As he looks left, the move comes over the right. He's probably okay with this. He's going to try and jump on the wheels. Now we'll have 2 leading off the front of this thing. That's a nice move, though, leaving the rest of the field and Stanley Douglas in the dirt. Hitting turn 3 well and away and ahead now. And it looks like that might be Luke Wilson, number 306, takes to 5. It's 301, Andrew Lynch for 3, Merrick Gallagher for 2. I'll wait on the official confirmation for the rider who got the 1 point, but we definitely see Luke Wilson, number 306, your early leader in this one at 7 to go. Enjoying what you're seeing, there's lots of ways to get involved here at the Velodrome. Don't forget, you too can learn to race a bike and come out here and give it a try. This goes for our young riders all the way up through our adult riders. We have Try the Track courses available, which are awesome opportunities for a short hour on the Velodrome with staff help. And we'll give you the bike. You can borrow a rental bike from us during the time. It's just $10 for adults and free for the kids. Come out here and see if riding on these fixed gear track bikes is something you're interested in and want to give a try doing competitively, or if you just want to learn a little bit more about the sport. If you want to even learn more beyond that, we also have adult classes on the weekends through the summer months that are 4 hours long. About $40 will pick you up a 4-hour class. And again, the rental is included, as well as sort of a startup package. We'll give you some help starting after you finish the class. You'll be okay to begin racing on Monday nights, our beginning racing program. So if you have any interest in that, I'm going to send you to the home of everything Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome. Head to velodrome.org and check it out there. 5 to go as the bell's ringing for yet another chance for points. There's your race leader leading things out right now, Luke Wilson, number 306. Nice move out of turn 3. And big acceleration gets reset now by the big attack from 307. Colin Stotts, I believe, across the line for the 3 points on that sprint, the rider in green. A good move there from Mike Jors all the way out of turn 3 to make that one happen. So great sprint for him. The rider in blue picks up a good chunk of points at 3 to go. Two to go. Riders down in turn 2, riders down in turn 2. Whistles are sounding for a neutralization of the race. We're neutralizing the race. The call of the officials is to neutralize the race. Neutralize at 2 to go. Neutralize the race. Ride high, please, riders. Ride high. The call is to neutralize. Thank you. Riders, ride high. All right, folks, we're going to send our team over and take care of our own for a little bit as we take a bit of a pause in the racing action. Make sure that our athletes are taken care of first and foremost. We'll be back with you in just a bit. We're going to call the riders over to the rail for restart. Riders on this lap, please come over to the rail for restart. Thank you. Riders to the rail for restart. We will resume here shortly. We'll have the riders that are currently on the track to the rail, please, for their restart. Up to the rail, folks, up to the rail. Okay, riders off for the neutral. We'll start out turn 4 to resume the race. 2 laps remain. I always like to tell folks in the faces, stuff like that, that we have the real joy of being able to watch the entire race, but also the reality that we see all the stuff that happens that we would rather not see as well. So we're, of course, our hearts and our concerns every time we see a rider hit the pavement like that. We go out to those folks. Looks like we're doing okay. Our riders are up and out of the way. We're continuing to check in with them and make sure that they are tended to and feeling all right, and we will continue to check in with them as we go through the evening. In the meantime, the riders that are upright on the bikes are allowed to start the race back up again, and they will be resuming out of turn 4. The race will restart on the sound of the whistle with 2 remaining. And racing's underway. 2 to go. Open Marymoor Crawl is on deck. Riders that would like to compete in the Marymoor Crawl coming up right around the corner. Peter Snoblin making the run at things now, trying to take the long 2-lap attack. And the bell's ringing. It's 1 to go for the Cat 3 man. 1 to go. Snoblin, 347, leading things out. David Branson for Apex Racing, 309. The next rider up. Here comes Luke Wilson, the rider, now making the move around the right-hand side. trying to pop up to the lead of the race, and he'll make a really nice turn of speed as he'll take over this final lap in good fashion. And Wilson for the final sprint. It's Luke for 10 points, and that should be good to move him right up to the top of this finishing order. And a good last effort for the riders that'll make their way off on the back straight. All right, riders, if you are interested in being in the crawl, it's time to grab the gear, and we're going to start moving you over towards turn 4, please. Crawl participants, anybody who'd like to jump in the crawl, it is open to participate. You ride yourself onto the rail over in turn 4. Looks like Z-Dog set in the front over here. I see Galen's going around to line up behind you. Open Marymoor Crawl. On your bikes and head on over. It looks like we got about 4 or 5 on their way. All right, here they come, making their way over. This is a local novelty race made right here in what was once the Marymoor Velodrome, called the Marymoor Crawl. It's the world's slowest lap. The riders are going to be held behind the finish line for an undetermined amount of time before they can race one super fast lap at a time. They don't even know when that's going to happen. They just know they got to stay on their bikes behind the start line, this finish line, until that bell's ringing. They can't put their foot down. They can't lean against anybody. They can't leave the racing surface either. They got to stay on the racing surface and stay upright. Now, luckily, of course, they've got those fixed gear bikes, so they're able to provide some back pressure. You're going to see a little bit of that here today. The riders use that to stay upright and not go anywhere. A bit of a track stand is often part of the strategy to win this race. Once we hear the bell, but that undetermined amount of time, the only people who really know is the person holding the bell and one of our officials. Once that bell's ringing, it's a one-lap race for the finish. The Marymoor Crawl just about ready to start. Looks like we have our group up in turn 4. All right, the secret timer has started and the race is underway. It may not look like it, but the riders are currently in the competition for the next couple of minutes at least. We're going to be stuck here with the riders behind the finish line, awaiting the sound of the bell. Z-Dog making his way pretty close up to the finish line here compared to the rest of the group. He's still got lots of room. Will Fowler, one of our junior competitors with that white framed bike and the black and blue jersey, making his way close towards the front as well. Our juniors are always proud to be competitors in this event. Oh, okay. That's stylish.
He just raced. He needed a hand up. It's water. Oh, there's money up there, though.
Ooh, cash money along the rail from one of the youngsters. Oh, boy. Quinn's going to be taking the cash. Ooh, nice. Classic move. Oh, there goes Z-Dog. Thanks for the visit. He's
money
out.
In the mouth.
Oh, and okay, Hewins is going to roll across the line. Okay. I don't know if that bell's going to ring soon enough. Nope. One more out. Okay, we're down to a decent-sized field here. Fowler's still guarding the front. Who else we got back there?
So I'd say whether we have the Cat 4s, the Cat 3s, the 1-2s. Did any woman start? A little disappointed in the woman. Who do we have up front? Nick right up in the front. Oh, good try, Joshua. Oh, we got to get out of Andrew's way here.
Mm-hmm.
He's going for the crawl.
Nick Martinez rolls off to the left. Didn't quite make it. Down to 6. I see Galen back there smiling. In the back.
What gear are you in?
101.
Can you get on top of that for the start?
I really hope so.
You just got to last a few more minutes. Okay. All right. Oh, Galen moved up over here.
Okay. Still so much anticipation. It's in that point where, okay, so now Henry's starting to kind of move towards the bell, but he's just faking this out. The bell ringer's like, nah, never mind. Just kidding.
Galen, what's your strategy up here?
I wait till the bell rings and then I go faster than the other guys.
Solid strategy.
Inspiring words. Go fast. Don't fall over. Maddie Hers moving up a little bit too here. Okay. Oh, all right, we got a good size field there. It's one to go. Will Fowler, look like you're going backwards, man. Come on now. That hurts saying that upright for that long. Matty Hers gets on top of that gear, whatever he's riding today. He's looking like he's speedy back to down straight. Andrew Carlberg, though, he's brought out the 101, he says. He's going to run at Quinn's wheel now, coming up on the right-hand side. Here comes Andrew Carlberg. He's got a few records around here in top speed, so he's trying to make sure he still can, he's got to be able to throw it around a little bit here this season. Carlberg hits turn 4 and will cruise in for the win in this season's first Marymoor Crawl. Quinn following on the wheel will come across the line second, and Matty Hers will round out our top 3 in our first novelty race of 2023, the Marymoor Crawl. Good stuff. Those riders will make their way off on the back straight. Thanks for the great show. The show continues. We need the circus music. And our track is clear and open. Open women. To the rail, please, for the elimination. And whistle signaling once again. We are now into the neutral lap. But this one is a little more interesting because it's the setup for a very exciting race, the elimination. Riders know that right away we're going to be going into a situation where riders at the back are going to be pulled from the field one at a time every time around the track, thinning down this group until we're left with just the top 2. The elimination race is essentially a down to the last rider sort of a situation. The bigger the field, the longer the race, the more times we get to watch them go around, and it's really about watching the last wheel across the line, which is a different way to watch a race. So always fun to watch, always fun to see how the riders approach it. Our open women field currently in the neutral, about ready to get started. After this first lap, we will start pulling. So this is not going to be a pull here in just a moment. You'll see how this works. And there's a whistle. Next time around, our first rider is eliminated. Next time around. Whew. A little busy there across the finish line that time. All right, now of course it's my important job here to keep the spectators informed, but it's also very important for me to be very clear on which rider and number gets eliminated. So I might be hauling quite a bit on that information. 242, Leah Holslander down the sprinter's lane. And you'll see that rider, they're going to pull off the pace, and then they'll exit on the back straight, and we'll just do this every single time around until we've got nobody left, except for our winners. You hear a bell when there's 3 riders coming across the line, because that'll kind of signal that we're just 1 lap out, as it'll be a sprint for top 2 on the final elimination is how that plays out. That's Edwards coming up along the rail and leaving the bottom. Number 12, 1, 2, 12, Kelly Rodriguez. The rider in the blue and red, Rodriguez. I have a feeling the riders that are in this position are going to stay there for a while. The riders towards the back are the ones that are going to be doing the most maneuvering and the most moving. If you've got space to move, why not? And it looks like Edwards is going to play that role for at least a while here. And she's the one sticking out the back of the group, but she's got a wheel. She's just going to keep accelerating just enough at the line to make sure she's not eliminated, and hope that it's somebody down below her who has less opportunities, less options afforded to them. 201 is Charlotte Westover. 201. You saw that back group as they swing up along the rail, and look exactly where they go. They try to now tuck in to get a little bit better of a draft on the back straight. So not trying to do work for about half of the lap and then working a little harder on the other half is a better effort for some riders. They'd rather have the kind of halfway sprint and rest, while some riders you'll see are just going to park themselves down in the sprinter's lane and lead the effort all the way around, or they're just as safe too, as it looks like Danny and Darlene riding side by side at the front. Heather Nielsen leading the lap right now. 34, Emily Alexander. 34. That was a close one between, I think, about 2 or 3 riders. Awfully tight there between Edwards, who was trying to get her at the line, and it will be Alexander on the inside, not the rider moving on the outside, that gets caught. So more laps to go here. We're working our way all the way down to the final riders in this first elimination of 2023 for the Open Women. And we're looking at center cycles. 88 indeed is confirmed. It's Catherine Wade-Easley all the way on the outside. Edwards having to go around the outside again. Let's see if it's going to be down in the sprinter's lane. It probably will be. 202 is Bella. Down to 7 now. Continue to be part of the fun, folks. We do this every single Friday night as long as it's not raining. Friday nights here at the Velodrome throughout the summer months. We race at 7 o'clock, and regular seasons next weekend. So if you're enjoying this, wouldn't it be even more fun if there's food trucks, some desserts, and of course, our beverage garden with Postdoc Brewing and Locust Ciders? Of course it would. Don't forget to check it out after the regular season starts next week. Here comes another elimination. Number 4, Lucy Gilchrist in a tough spot in the middle of the field. Nowhere to go. She tried to pinch in the middle, and that lane just did not appear where she was hoping to find it. Now here's that dangerous part, is where some of the riders are taking a left-hand turn and the smart riders are not. They're staying high. They know if you go down that sprinter's lane, there's still too many riders. You may not have a way to get around anybody if you're in that second lane of riders. You're 2 or 3 deep. You want to be able to position yourself all the way around and towards the front. Another effort here. Edwards doing another acceleration to pull somebody else out. It's going to be number 222, Rue Tomko. Down to 5. We have our top 5 riders. We still have Danny Scoville, number 1 in the field, the rider down the sprinter's lane with the blue helmet on. She's been kind of in that lead spot for the majority of the action here tonight. And will Amara have another bit effort in here? She's going to try and catch Nielsen in a head-to-head sprint in the back. It looks like it'll work. Number 3, Nielsen. Nielsen caught that time, as we got sort of the next generation of competitors out here alongside of Coach. Edwards holds on to be in the top 5. She holds on one more time. Now the kids are going to start trying to drive it a little bit harder on this lap. It's going to be Darlene taking the lead of this one, spreading it out single file for just a moment. Now comes the second move from the back group as Scoville will try to come back up a little bit more. Edwards coming around the right side. And she'll find another as it's 203. Lucy Dorr found that time. Darlene, I think, is not going to slow down at this point. Starting to think about it. She looks around to see who she's got, but maybe this is her chance to apply some pain. Darlene, number 9. Now here comes Scoville now, finding her pace as well. Recovering nicely. Edwards trying to stay with the wheel of Scoville. Scoville looks back to see if she still has the pursuant. As they hit the home straight, this will be another elimination. Getting it on our top 2, the bell's ringing. It's the one to go, Mark, one more time. Edwards up and out of the saddle to take out another junior. Not technically a junior anymore, but certainly one of our great stars of the Jerry Baker Juniors team. Kelly Darlene found out that time. Number 9. Now the head-to-head between Danny and Edwards for the top 2 spots. Edwards finds herself at the front of the race down in the sprinter's lane. Danny kind of tucking in right behind the wheel. Edwards is trying to make the race a bit shorter. Scoville's got good jump. This is going to be a tough race no matter how Mara chooses to go at it. And Scoville says, yeah, I got this one. The kid's in good form. Another good season up ahead for this one. And we put our hands together, not for Scoville also, but for Coach. Team Mama Bear on the new kit this year. And a good finish. Great elimination. Up comes our next field. Cat 1, 2 men, please, to the rail. All right, and off we go again for a neutral. Look out, this one won't look slow. It's going to look pretty quick because these riders are already going to be vying for position on this elimination. The Cat 1, 2 men, they're going to take their chance at this fun competition as well. Look at the speed already. Riders positioning for this first lap. They know being in a bad spot in the field is painful. Potentially could lose you the race very quickly. They're going to get the signal if they're together out of turn 4, but they may not, as it looks a bit spread here. No whistle, still neutralized. We'll take another lap and get riders together. Good showing here on the live stream. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see so many viewers. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the video here, if you haven't already, leave that thumbs up, give us a like, and of course to subscribe. We're over 1,000 subscribers now and continue to grow because, you know what, I think we're doing pretty cool stuff here. Good racing and, of course, trying to do our best to bring that action to you. So thanks for tuning in. Great to see some of you commenting in the chat as well. Always love getting some interaction from folks. If you're here in person, velodrome.org/live will get you the link for the live stream so you can check it out. There's the whistle. Racing underway. Next time around, we will pull the last rider out. All the way down to the final 2. This will be fun. We saw some riders show some strength in the points race already, so we're going to keep our eyes on. Well, some of them have already moved their way to the front, as I see Ben Flom in the orange and blue up there. We see Galen Erickson, our winner of the first race, slot in the second line, I believe, in the sprinter's lane, the rider with the white helmet. So keep our eyes on him. Winner of the crawl and first across the line here on this first lap, the last across the line, Andrew Carlberg. He put it all on the crawl, folks. There's money on the line there. You know, that's a fun one. All right, here we go. Another one coming around. Watch that right side. Ooh, bit of action there on the rail. Do we have enough room? Oh, too tight. 113 is Tomko. He knows it's him. He was trying to get that into that window, and it just closed down in front of him. Couldn't make the move. With this group being as wide as it is across the track, sometimes those lanes just disappear right in front of your face. And it looks like it's going to be Scott Grinsel, the next rider to kind of watch, the rider in the gray with the black helmet. He's going to try and do something similar. He still has some room to move. Not going to let him make the move easily, though, as Nolan moves up there. 1-2-5 caught. 1-2-5. Rusvold. Once again, it looks like the rider in gray, the one to watch at the back end, trying to make the move. Maybe not have enough on this lap, though. And he will not. It's 181. Scott's found that time. Ben Flom takes the lead of the lap entirely now. So we've had some changes up in the front. I've noticed a couple riders kind of pushing out to the front, but this is the kind of effort that I think we've seen Ben earn his upgrade points doing, is this sort of really hard work at the front of the field. And he'll find himself there again now. Stay well away from all of that sprinting at the back. All that nonsense as riders are getting eliminated. 1-2-0 is Jeff Reed with the Drop Bar Racing team. And we're looking once again, looking in the middle. Yeah. 122, he's already shaking his head. He knows he's found out. That's Nick Martinez. Kenny Williams, the last rider in the lineup now, trying to stay with the wheel in front of him. He's starting to move his way back up again. Let's see if he can hold on for another lap as he leaves some riders below him. Whoa. 116. Scott Vinson. Continue to work our way down in this good size field. We had over 20 competitors show up for all of these categories for the men tonight, so that's pretty exciting. The Cat 1-2 men, our largest field today, with I think 25 on the start list. 114 is Kenny Williams. Oh, cancel that, wrong call. 118 is out, 114 still in. We got it, team. And then we'll watch for Kenny to make another move as he's trying to leave another in the dust. But he will get called this time is Kenny Williams, and I double checked already. 114, Williams caught that time. We're a couple of our special events up on the calendar. Don't forget velodrome.org for the calendar. You can also see all the things going on here, our classes that we offer, our training times, and then all the special events throughout the season. Don't forget to check that and add the events. 131, Matthew Brady already sitting up. Gene Johnson. 13 riders I count still on the track. All things going to plan here. We've got still 12 laps of racing to go. We saw a nice early move from this rider in the first race tonight. Brendan Russell, the rider all the way at the back. Going to try to make another move here to stay in on the lap. And he does. Instead, it'll be 101, Mario Sandoval. Brad Cunningham up near the front of the race right now in that single file line, kind of pushing away from the front. Towards the back though. 104 is Matty Hers. .111, Nolan raises his hand, says, "That's me. I know my name. Looking for some high fives. It's casual around here. Why not? Thanks for showing up," he says. "Good to have fans here." It's a show, right? We're having fun. I mean, I am. There we go. All right, Nolan is. Fantastic. 10 riders remain. Christian Miller in the white with the black helmet. I believe the rider there swinging around to the right. Looks like he'll do the work necessary to stay in. As instead it'll be 134, Matt Haldeman. Down to 9, continuing to work our way down this great elimination race. Big change up at who's at the very front of the field too, as we've had a bit of swirling around, and now the pace quick enough and sort of narrow. The field's all stretched out here, kind of low on the track. We see a big swing here on the home straight just to try to stay in. 1, 2, 3, Miller. Oh, resting in the group for a second and now making an attack from the front. You don't see a lot of effort spent this way in the elimination, but that's a way to guarantee you don't get pulled out. That's Ben Flom again on the move. This guy's got some real motor and some real endurance coming into 2023. It's going to be fun to watch how he approaches some of the races this season. No earned points for being in this position, but it means he's nowhere near being eliminated. Sending riders high, it's being neutralized with the call. Ride high, please, riding high, neutralizing the race. Ride high, race is being neutralized. Once again, we'll do our best to ensure our riders are doing okay here before any racing is resumed. We'll be back with you in just a minute. All right, track is cleared again. We're going to bring riders up to the rail for another restart. Riders to the rail to restart the race. All right, we did have it looks like 3 riders out of the group now from that collision incident we had on the track. We've neutralized. We're about ready to restart. Currently in the neutral. We'll start them out of turn 4 to get the race going again. And then much like the beginning of the race, they'll go around for the lap before the elimination. So we'll get this thing going again gradually. It was Ben Flom on a bit of an attack. Not a ton of separation between him and the other riders when that happened. But the rider in blue and orange was on a nice turn there as that was going down. So that's a match that he spent that he's not going to have again. That's a bit frustrating for him, I'm sure. But in the restart, everybody gets a fair shot at it again. And the elimination continues as we work our way down from 5 riders. And as everybody is up and walking after that incident, whistle was sounded. The race is back underway. Elimination next time around. We generally tout this is the most consistent form of racing and usually the most safe overall. But again, we never miss any bit of the action. So when you have nights like this, it can seem a bit overwhelming. But again, we like to remind folks that track racing of all the disciplines is one of the safest and most consistent of the disciplines of racing your bike. That's 107, Chris Wilson on the elimination. Ben Flom back on the lead of this one. Down to 4. Brad Cunningham going around the outside, and ooh. That's 127, Cunningham. Sternamonte cycling confirmed. Down to 3. Flom on the lead of the lap now. Brad Cunningham comes up to the front now, the rider in the black and the green. And that's Brandon Russell, the other rider still in the mix. And they'll hear the bell. One more elimination for our top 3 position. Who's going to be in 3rd overall? Oh, it is 126. Flom confirmed out on the lap. He'll get 3rd in the race tonight, leaving it's Russell in the green with the black helmet and the black with the bright green. That's Rad Cunningham, the Carla Rohrbach team right in front of him. Here comes Brandon Russell on the attack first. Cunningham just trying to hold him off as he's got the shorter line. He doesn't want him to come around on the outside. He continues to hold the line. Coming around on the home straight. It'll be Cunningham to take the elimination with a nice victory here tonight for the Keller Rohrbach Racing Team. Brandon Russell with a great showing here today as well. The elimination making their way off on the back straight. And the whistle will start our neutral in the elimination for the Cat 4 men competitors. On deck, the final elimination will be the Cat 3s. They're coming up after this. All right, coming out of the neutral here, and there's the whistle. We will get started on racing next time. Riders eliminated at the back of the field every time we go around the track. The Cat 4 men, another good-sized field here today. .402, Kevin Ulrich, 402. With this good-sized group here, our Cat 4s are going to be on the track for a while. It's another long race here in the elimination. We'll continue to watch up along the rail as you see riders kind of jockeying for position in the early going of this one, and lots of riders to have to maneuver around. Watching the pink here. It is 418 confirmed. Conrad Mayer. Conrad. One week from today, we have the kickoff, the beginning of the regular season. You'll want to get signed up, riders, for that event. It is a Friday evening, a Saturday morning time trial, and then a Saturday evening again for some mass start racing. We got Madison's included. You must have Madison experience beforehand, by the way. You can get registered online now at velodrome.org for the kickoff next weekend. And that's 417, Bernard Yee. .407 is Logan Lee. So plenty more laps here for the Cat 4s. Not even close to halfway done on this one. Now we're coming up along the rail. That looks like it'd be a good move. It'll leave someone else out below him. 404 is found that time. Parker Stanford. We'll continue to see this, especially in a race like this, and when there's so many riders still out here. You'll look at that bottom back part as kind of the dangerous spot to be in. So the back part of the sprinter's lane, the area between the black and the red line, if you're far back in that sprinter's lane, that's oftentimes the danger zone of the elimination. We might be seeing that again here. Indeed, 413, Tom Herink, almost down the sprinter's lane, is found at that time. It's going to be some other riders' number here pretty soon if they're not repositioning. You can always get lucky if the wave doesn't come over too quickly. They might survive a few more laps down there. Well, why would you be down there if that's the dangerous spot? Everybody knows that. It's because that's the most efficient place to be. There's the best draft. It's consistent. It's comfortable. And, of course, you have to take that risk of slowing down, backing up, and then all that energy to move up and around the field if you're the next one up down there. And that's so much work to do. Let's see how we pull it out here. And once again, down low, it looks to be number 412, Jason Fuller. Looks like 13 riders, if I'm counting right. So still, again, over 10 laps at minimum here. Another run at it here from the back half of the field. 499, David Gilchrist. Some nice effort there on the back half of the field. 3 or 4 riders coming across the line pretty close. Lots of our juniors here. It'll give me a good opportunity maybe later in this race to talk about some of our junior programs that are going on here at the Velodrome. Here's a couple of them now, sprinting it out in the back half. Whoa! 4:09. Ian Gola, 4:09. That's right, we got juniors racing out here, young riders who can first, generally they get started here in a program called Camp Velo, a week-long junior camp during the summer months we do here. There's several of them offered, and you can sign up for those at velodrome.org. It's a week-long camp. Riders will get lots of help and coaching, and at the end, they're invited to compete on Monday night junior racing. But let me stop prattling on and let's see what our next elimination is. Down in the sprinter's lane, maybe. Yep, knows it's coming. 444 Keegan. So Camp Velo is sort of that entry point for a lot of the young riders, and then from there, riders can do a lot of things. They can continue to compete on junior nights. Some of the riders that would like to become part of a team might purchase a membership on one of the local racing teams, like maybe signing up for the Jerry Baker Juniors. Our sort of a cooperative partner junior team here of over 40 riders. I think it's up over 45 now, and if I don't say that, someone's going to yell at me. And other teams also are supportive of the young riders, and it's not just that team. 4:15, Joshua Poznansky caught there. If you're not looking for the Camp Velo experience, you don't want to go all in on the week-long camp and commit to that. There's also Try the Track youth classes, and Try the Track youth classes are free. That's right, an hour for free on the track with help from staff and our rental bikes. And we've got lots of junior-sized bikes, thanks to our donors and our sponsors helping us get a nice big rental fleet. 4:23, Ryan Havel. It's between him and Dan Pham right down the center there. And we'll go to the right on the inside in the white. Starting to get towards the back end of this race now. We're past that top 10 mark now. So every position really critical for these riders if they want to get those upgrade points. They're looking to be in the top 5 at minimum here if they want to pick up some good value this evening. One of the Jerry Baker Juniors in a tough spot, but a good acceleration. 4:06, Jamie Park. Looks like we might have an early volunteer here if I'm catching this right. So it looks like one rider off the back is going to self-select. Did the work on the last sprint to stay in. It looks like a Jerry Baker Jr. rider made a big effort last lap as Anton will pull out this time. Down to 6. As Dan Pham was holding on the last lap, the rider in the dark blue, with the black helmet. He's at the back end of the field now. He still has a good opportunity. He just has to run at a wheel and see if he can come up and around, stay in another lap. Oh, just not enough. He'll abandon. A good effort for Dan, but it looks like that'll be it for tonight. 4:19 called officially. 5 remain. Our top 5 now in the Cat 4s. Again, this is where those critical upgrade points and all of the victory comes, as being here at the end of this long elimination. Every lap so important now, as some of our young riders from Team Epic are here in the field. That's Gavin Newman leading the group. The competition coming from behind, though. Oh, nice move around the right side. At least 401 out. Michael Westover, nowhere to go behind the wheel of Gavin. I think that was Trevor, the rider in the white. Number 408, who looked to be in a really tough spot on the home straight and then did the big move to go around on the right-hand side and saves himself. That's the kind of move you have to make sometimes when you're in the wrong position at the wrong time. Everybody's got plenty of room now. Looks like Quinn's the rider in the back at the blue line, having to swing out and around the 2 riders from Portland. Oh, just trying to find enough acceleration. May not be able to find it. Knows it too. 4-2-0. Not able to get to the line in time. Still finding fourth today in the group. And here we have our top three. The two Portland competitors. Whoa. Newman makes the jump all the way back out of turn two. Sort of surprising Trevor there as they hit the back straight. They're all in matched gearing here in the Cat 4 competition at our track, so there's an element of equal footing on the gearing ratio, so tactics really important here tonight. It looks like Team Epic will do the work to pull out 408 here, and now it's just the Portland riders in a head-to-head. Gavin Newman swings out of the way. Jack Hampson now takes the lead of the lap. Gavin, I think, is just going to try to reset himself in the slipstream here of his competitor teammate, no longer teammate, now head-to-head matchup. The East Portland Youth Cycling Team, Team Epic, head-to-head, making a nice showcase of it here in the early goings of the preseason of 2023. Gavin Newman with a pretty finish. Jack Hampson competing very well here today. Top two for the juniors out of Portland. Cat 3s to the rail for your elimination and your final elimination tonight before we will proceed into the scratch races. Elimination for the Cat 3s. You know the rules by now. One more field to race in this fun one. All right, into the neutral they've gone. They've come together in turn 3. Looks like we're going to be starting this race here shortly if they can keep their formation. And then off we go for our last elimination tonight, the Cat 3 men on the track. And there's the whistle. Racing underway. Next time around, we'll begin the elimination process, one rider at a time. It's always a fun one to watch, isn't it, folks? A good spectator race. You can find your favorites and see how they position themselves in the middle of this one. You can just watch the back end if you don't know who to cheer for, because it's always fun to watch how the back of the race positions and moves around. You can also kind of once in a while kind of watch the front and see who's willing to do that workhorse at the front of the group. A big move from, that looks like 306. Luke Wilson at the very back of the field, already moving quite his way up there, as he maybe not happy with the position at the end of the neutral. That's 312, Tyrell Lacey. 312, Lacey. And it was David Branson on the last lap that I think just barely stayed in. The rider in the blue making another nice move around the outside to well position himself now. Felt a little uncomfortable how close that was. You'll see that when a rider gets close to being eliminated on the back end of the field, oftentimes that's the motivation they need. 391, Stanley Douglas. Z-Dog, the rider in black and orange, runs up and around just in time to stick in another lap, eliminating the rider in blue. And the call will be 315. That's Grant Gibson. There's one of our riders popping off the front, Z-Dog. We mentioned him a bit ago. Again, not feeling so great about being so close to the back. Says to go all the way to the front. Nowhere near elimination on this lap. Probably slowly fall back into formation over the next lap or two. And ooh, it is 309, Apex Racing. David Branson in the middle. As Gene Wainwright and him were side by side. The rider for Dyna Racing in pink stays in another lap. Branson will exit. 10 riders remain. It's now Hyun Lee all the way at the back with a yellow jersey. But instead of trying to move up and around the side, it looks like he's already going to pull off the pace a bit and say, I'm good for this one. Up on the handlebars. Hyun Lee, 305. Lots of other great, exciting events going on this season, folks. I got to also remind you, if you're a Redmond local and you know about Derby Days, that coincides with one of our Friday night races. We're doing a big collaboration with the city of Redmond and Derby Days to bring a whole lot of people out here. It's going to be a big party Friday night with the beverage garden, the food trucks, and great Friday night racing during the regular season. 333, Gene Wainwright. That's right, coming up in this summer, Derby Days. That's a favorite local event, sort of a street fair. They got the great parade environment and all the good fun for the family. You can end your day here at the Velodrome. We're going to have a Kitty Kilo going on. I'm sure the Marymoor Crawl is in the schedule, and of course, lots of great racing. Mark your calendar for Derby Days this summer, and don't forget to come visit us here at the Velodrome for all the great racing fun. .303 takes the wave. He knows it's coming up. Z-Dog with a nice showing here on the race after his attack off the front gets caught and says, I'm good for that. Thank you very much. Down to 7. That looked to be Tony Brevetti pulling away from the front of the field just a little bit. Number 310, kind of watching Z-Dog's move and says, yeah, if I can guarantee a few more laps, I think I might just do that. Yeah, all the way across the track here. Whoa! 310. Tony at the very end there is caught. Maybe he knew he didn't have the sprint anymore, so just trying to get another lap or two out of it off the front. Caught at the line. 6 remain now. Next rider will be 6 overall. Mike Ritter at the back in the pink, trying to hold in for one more. Nice acceleration. 344. Merrick Gallagher by an inch. Ritter in good position again to have to make a run at it. He's got Colin, I believe, right in front of him. Colin Stotts, Luke Wilson. There's Will Fowler down the sprinter's lane. Doesn't have anywhere to go. 345. Maybe if he was pushing up on the line, he might have stayed in, but it will be Will Fowler eliminated this time. He was paying attention to Mike Ritter, and maybe if he just kind of closed that distance down a little bit, he might have had a chance. But, man, it's tough down that sprinter's lane. You got to fight for every inch. Still Ritter in that position to have to come around the outside as he'll find himself at the blue line and now trying to come up around Colin Stotts. Ooh, wide across the track here. Ooh, excuse me, it's Justin, 368. I misread that like I did last week. 347, 347. That is Peter Snoblin. Yeah, I did that the last week too with Justin. Justin capped us right in the middle of this field. In front of him, Luke Wilson. Behind him, Mike Ritter, who's continuing to play that back roll of the field, just kind of nipping people one lap after another. Doing it very well here tonight. Now Justin coming up out of the saddle a little bit and coming up out of the sprinter's lane. Wilson just holding on to his tempo now. Ritter's got the tongue out. He's good. Thank you very much, Dyna Racing, for 3rd place overall, and now it's the head-to-head with Luke Wilson and Justin Captis down the back straight. Captus doing very well here and racing so savvy. I really haven't noticed him. He's just been playing it so smart and staying out of the action near the front of the field. But Luke Wilson's been training hard here in this offseason. I know he's been flying around a little bit to get some extra efforts on the track across the country, and here's back here now in the Seattle area and rocking and rolling. Luke Wilson will win the elimination here today. Justin Captus with a fantastic race. And the Open women come on down for the scratch. That's right, folks. We got one more series of races. Open women competitors, please to the rail for the scratch race. And just to have the full closure on the loop on a warning to number 130, Galen Erickson, for previous dangerous riding in the last race. Didn't get that announcement in because we were kind of in the middle of the action and it wasn't pressing. The official announcement, there's a on the official record warning for Erickson for dangerous riding. Our group here on the track for the scratch race now. We've got 4 of them upcoming, and these are all going to follow a very simple set of rules. We're going to have a total number of laps, and at the end of the total number of laps, there'll be a bell at 1 to go, and the first rider across the line after that is your winner. That's right, it's a race for the finish line. No points, no eliminations, nothing else to get in the way. Just good old racing fun. And with the whistle, the race is underway. 20 to go, and our scratch race is now going on here. We've got a good showing for all of our categories tonight. It's been some great racing, getting a little bit of the jitters out for some of our riders. We've seen a little bit of the undesirable action. We don't like to see any of that, but at the same time, on either side of that, it's been really good racing for all of our groups, and we've got one more opportunity to showcase our athletes tonight. These scratch races are all about just straight competition and good fun, so we'll let our riders sort this out over a little bit longer distance too. So 20 laps for the scratch race. This gives riders of different strengths and types an opportunity to showcase themselves differently. All right, sometimes you might see riders try to put together a bit of an effort off the front, or they're going to try and save it all for the big sprints, that kind of approach. It'll allow for those different approaches. As Lucy Dore pulls off the front, number 203. And in the early parts of this race, not going to be too surprising when it's a longer distance like this. This is smart racing where riders will work as a field, right? This is what Peloton racing looks like. You get together in a field and you get under that momentum of your shared effort. Riders will tuck in behind each other, looking to be as efficient as they can. And they know they've got to work the lap cards down before anything really starts to count. It's not likely that any of these competitors are going to want to go for a long effort as long as we've got remaining. So being a conservative and playing it smart here with 17 to go. It's Kelly Darlene, number 9, and Emily Alexander, 34, takes the lead now. 16 to go. And our field, again, still all in that kind of neutral together sort of positioning as we work our way towards the finish on this one. Still plenty of spots in our summer camps and classes that we offer here. That's right, adults can start racing at the Velodrome. This is a great place to learn the fundamentals of competitive sport on a bike. Whether you're interested more in getting into cross cycle, or if you want to do some off-road action, or you're into just pure old road racing. The basics and the fundamentals of good spin, good control, understanding how these track bikes race and ride, and just knowing the rules of the track. It's all a really great foundation for just about any discipline. And we've got a really good staff here and lots of rentals that we can provide. So it's a great facility for that type of offering. Adult classes happen on the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, depending on the weekend that you are looking at. And you pay $40 for the 4-hour class, and that includes the track bike. You just got to bring the athletic gear, some good shoes, and a helmet. And we'll get you the rest, try to help you get on a fitted bike and get you out here. We'll talk about how the fixed gear bike works, how to ride safe, and then get the fundamentals of how racing works, including doing some simulated races with the assistance of Ken, of course, from our Jerry Baker Velodrome staff. Number 5 pulling out of the way for number 1, Scoville, now on the front. If you're still out here enjoying the show on the stream, thanks you for tuning in so much. We've had great viewership today, and we hope to only get more. Big thanks to our local community for helping to support and sponsor so many of the improvements you're noticing from that position. This year, we were happy to increase our team by 1, and we've added an on-field action camera, we'll call it, the mobile camera rig, which has been going to be good for our interviews, and we look forward to using that more. So hopefully you're appreciating that view. And of course, I think it's Lucy Gilchrist that's in this race that's got the GoPro attached on there, so we're going to get a little bit of view into the field. If you're enjoying the show and the production, we again would ask if you wouldn't mind leaving that thumbs up and then hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. It helps us grow and continue to bring the great racing we're doing here in Redmond, Washington to more viewers and more audience across the world, as we think this is a really good example of how to run a facility. We're all about building a racing community here in Redmond, Washington. 11 to go, about halfway into this race as Catherine Wade-Easley takes a bit of a pull and picks up the tempo just a bit. Not a big deal. Continuing to take their turns at the front. You're going to see a lot of rotations every about half lap or so. But now we're far enough along. It looks like the team Center cycles here in the blue. Number 3, Heather Nielsen, wants to put a little pressure on the front. A nice bit of an attack as she finds the front of the field. This will start to do the work of thinning out the ranks just a hair, and also just making the riders work just that much harder to stay with it. On deck, the Cat 1-2 men will be coming up here shortly. Seeing 7 to go. Many of them already on the warm-up circle, getting ready. Wade Easley on the front now, and here comes Charlotte Westover, one of our junior riders for the Jerry Baker Jr. team. I think I heard from Coach it's 16 riders we're hoping to go to Junior Nationals this year. 19. 16 might have been last year. Maybe that's what it was. Nearly 20 riders. Another place where some of the funds and support that we get in this community goes to is to help our nationals competitors. We've got riders, not just juniors, but we've got a lot of riders that represent ourselves in national competitions. Masters, juniors, and of course the elites. This is an Olympic style competition event you're looking at. Not all the races that we run in the exact formats, of course, but in this style and in this way. So in that way, it is sort of an international class preparatory facility here. A lot of our riders going off and doing well at national and international competitions. These riders will be seeing 5 to go. We're getting into the final bit of this one. And the acceleration has been a little bit more consistent from the riders on the front of the field now as they continue to try to hold a little bit more increased tempo. They saw 5 to go as they crossed the line that time. Some riders don't want to do as much of this work at this tempo. You can see some of the juniors saying no thanks. And some of the adult riders really want to keep it moving at this higher tempo. They know this will be a good recipe to maybe apply some of that pain to the younger riders and make it a bit harder for them to try to ride away from them in that final sprint. Edwards at the front with 4 to go. Pulls up to the blue line, looking for the next rider to keep this thing moving. Scoville also playing it a little bit coy there, trying to keep it moving along well, number 1. Stretched out, almost single file. 3 to go now. You might see one of 2 things here in about the next lap. It's either going to slow down just a little bit before a big sprint, or maybe maybe right at that moment someone might go try to take advantage of that slowing, or we're just going to see this tempo kind of continue until the big finish. It looks like there's a bit of slowing down here, hitting turn 3. But now the line continues to pull forward, as I think that's going to be another rider from the center cycles leading the pole, leading the charge. Wade Easley around the corner and onto the home straight with 2 to go. Number 88 looks back over the right-hand shoulder, pulls up and out of the way. Nielsen will follow suit. So does Scoville. They all want to try to hold on for the sprint now. They know they're less than 2 laps away. Bell's coming up next time around. Lucy Dora's been doing a lot of good work here this evening. We got Kelly Donleen back near the front, getting ready for this sprint. The speedster always bringing the heat. Danny Scoville is trying to position herself in the right place for the upcoming action. You can see her in the second lane, about a wheel and a half back. And there is the bell, and 1 to go. 1 to go. Donleen on the lead of this one, number 9. Leads out the action right now. Not quite up to full speed, but you can see Scoville's trying to keep it quick right alongside her. Now Donleen up and out of the saddle for just a moment to try to keep herself well on top of that gear and try to fully engage down the back straight. It's a full-on sprint between the 2 younger riders. Scoville alongside her. We've seen this story many times before. Scoville usually the one who will get the better of it, but it looks like Donleen's got the shorter line. This is giving her some help. Scoville still strong enough to start pulling away. Here comes Edwards to challenge. Edwards on the blue line. Number 5 will take it in the final sprint. She runs at the line and surprises us all for the field as Scoville and Donleen were so focused on riding each other. It was Coach that comes flying in for the victory. Good finish for the open women field here. They'll make their way on the back straight as a few more of our riders are finishing up. Great riding for our young competitors here coming across the line. Great stuff. Here comes the Cat 1-2s to the rail. And the whistle sounds for neutral. We got a big scratch coming up, a 30 lapper for the Cat 1-2s. Rules work the same. It's a race to the finish line. We'll start them out of the neutral throw altogether, and then we'll get that bell at 1 to go. And there's the whistle, and the race is now underway. 30 laps on the cards. And the very first lap will be led around by Maddie Hers, number 104, to get the action going. Don't expect this one to be quite as passive. It's a bigger field, and I do expect, considering the riders that have shown up today, that we've got enough variety in styles. This is going to be an interesting one. We'll see how this one develops, but in the very first lap, this early attack certainly picking up tempo right away, so no time to rest. 29 to go, 1 lap down. There goes Christian Miller now, the 10-speed hero team, number 123. Grensel finds open track and decides to use that as an invite for an attack as well. Good move hitting turn 3 as you'll just put on a little bit of extra energy and effort here. Making it quick and difficult for the riders behind him. 28 to go. There's Scott coming across the line. And the rest of the field not too far off. Seven now. It's Jeff Reed leading the lap across the line that time. Chris Wilson in the green with the white helmet takes the front as the last group sweeps up and moves back, looking for a spot in the lineup.
Up and then put this on.
16:25 to go. Still all together as the group has certainly not been sitting on their laurels. It's been quite a bit of action from the front of the field. Constant pressure, but everybody's been able to weather the storm. Brad Cunningham at the front in the black and bright green. Moving out of the way for Chris Wilson again of Found Cycling in the dark green with the white helmet. Sandoval right behind him in the white jersey with the white helmet with the red bike frame. Interesting to see how far back some of these riders are willing to go, and you can tell how much work they want to do. It's not very common that if you want to get into the lineup sooner, all right, you get off the front. Usually you go all the way to the back, but if you want to jump in only 3 or 4 bikes back, people usually let you. If you want to stay up there and do more work, go for it. We've seen a couple of these riders still trying to stay in the front half of this field constantly. They're willing to come up to the front. They want to keep it fairly quick. And you watch that kind of rotation back towards in the field now. It looks like more riders willing to go back and rest up a bit longer as this tempo's been pretty fast in the opening laps. Now starting to relax just a bit. At 22 to go. Cunningham again coming across the line. Reed and then Tom Coe behind him. He saw 21 to go. Still plenty of racing left. $18 to go. Chip chase on the front of this one. We saw him take that spill in the second race today, and he's back in it. So toughing it out here as number 117 takes the pole and gets out of the way now for Christian Miller down the back straight. It's been a bit breezy today, so a little bit of inconsistency on the back in the home straight. That's certainly been playing into it. It's been a beautiful evening. Just now starting to really get a bit chillier here at Redmond. Been lucking out here in May. It's been really nice for a couple of days here. We've been enjoying it. This has been a good preseason for us here. Great showing from the riders, good competition early in the season, and really good to see a lot of fans also coming out. Some folks here I can see just popping in while they're here at the park and hearing something's going on. We hope you've been enjoying the show and been interested in what's going on here. We're proud of our little Velodrome community. Bigger and bigger every year, and we race here every Friday night at 7 o'clock, so you can always come back and check us out again. If you're on the stream, you probably already know about us. You're here because you either have a racer that you're here cheering on, or maybe you've come here to race before and you're coming back in to check in on our community. Thanks for joining us, whether in person or on the stream. Streaming every Friday night and special events on YouTube. Find our channel, JB Velodrome. You can also go to velodrome.org/live on any racing night and see that schedule for the evening. And, of course, get the link for the stream for that event. We have a bit of a break happening here as there's some riders that aren't ready to hang with this tempo. At 15 to go at almost the halfway point with this group of 6 being joined now by 2 more. The race is getting away from what is the field right now. Looks like to be under turn 2 of the Greg Cycle sign. And we have our lead break. 8 riders in turn 3. Almost splitting the group in half now as we got 8 in front and 9 in back. At 14 to go, Mario Sandoval, number 101, is going to try to drive the train a little bit himself. 107, Chris Wilson takes over. Plenty of tempo here from the front group, not wanting to get caught. They're trying to make this really hard to stay in the race. And this is effectively shattering what was the field, and now we see the front has really kind of become the field in this race. As 9 riders now make it to the front. We've got a chase of 3, the next closest group. 13 to go. Carl Cunningham on the front. At 12 to go, this action at the front starting to kind of close down just a bit as so many riders have made it up into the front now. There may not be a whole lot of motivation to keep driving it this hard. We've got a group of 6 just barely dangling. As Scott Grinsel, the rider in gray, trying to close that gap down. You see there's about 5 or 6 bikes worth of distance he needs to try to close in. As the field, formerly that break, not totally pushing the pedals away right now. It looks like they're willing to just kind of hang with the current tempo. 111, Nolan Adams swing up and out of the way for Chip Chase, number 117. And this is just about going to do it as it looks like the field all kind of reconnecting themselves on the back straight. A little bit lighter in terms of total numbers. But the majority of the names that showed up here to race are back in it and are in this field now, ready to wrap this race up at 10 to go. There's going to be some pretty gassed riders in this group. I'm wondering if maybe there's a group of 2 or 3 that may reorganize themselves after a lap of rest and see if they can take another go at it. As 10 laps is still plenty of time for some different tactics to play out here in front of us. Matty Hurst swinging out of the way there for his pole on the previous lap, giving room to Brennan Russell in the green. Yeah, you can see, again, there's some fatigue that's set in as many of these riders are not wanting to do that pull right now. They're looking for a little bit of rest. As they get to the front, they quickly pull up and out of the way. Now showing 9 to go. Ben Flom is not one to rest today. He's been doing a lot of this kind of work. He'll do some more. Nolan Adams there at the front for a moment, looking to see who else is going to play the game. Mario Sandoval jumps in. Every time this guy gets to the front, though, it's in different tempo as Flom is really interested in keeping this thing fast. He may have to stay on the front a little longer than he wants to or find a buddy here in this group. He does have Cunningham right on his wheel there. That might be a good sign for kind of keeping on the pressure as Rad Cunningham seems to also be of like mind here. He'll start to try to keep this thing rolling as well, taking his turn at the front. And the majority of the riders, again, are in this group. There's a few stragglers you'll see around the track, but it's Chip Chase and the field right behind him at 7 to go. They're just now going to turn 1. That makes up the majority of the riders and where the competition is. It's all going to come down to the final lap. The 1 to go, we'll hear that bell. But we still have enough laps here in between now and then. We'll kind of keep our eyes posted, look for someone out here to make some sort of advance on the rest of the field, maybe launch an attack or look for another opening. Keeping this kind of consistent quick tempo makes it hard, though, for anybody to really do anything besides just get in the lineup and stay with it. You just got to hang. And right now, everybody's kind of doing that. They got into that single file. They're trying to be efficient, hide behind a body, make sure you got good draft. It's when it gets slow that people get more options, and you can see the front is just willing to keep it moving here. No, but 3 or 4 riders in a row not willing to do the pull. This is where things get a little bit more interesting as the field starts to swing high along the rail. These moments of rest are also moments of opportunity. At 5 to go, we see for the first time in a long time, the entire track width is covered with riders. Everybody looking around, waiting for the next rider to make something happen. As you know, that's exactly what will happen at some point. Someone's going to start moving. Chip Chase is already near the front. He'll take the invitation to just kind of roll it back up again. So he really accelerates himself from the front. He's got the rider for Keller Rohrbach, Rad Cunningham, right with him. And the field is not happy to see those two starting to work, so they'll reinitiate some speed and get back up. And 4 to go. Cunningham still on the lead of the lap right now, trying to do the work needed. The field, again, has responded in kind. They are hoping for rest, but not letting anything get away. It's the final race of the night for everyone here. If they're racing in this scratch, it's their last race today, so likely to put in quite a bit of effort for this finish. Not saving for another race after this one. Several riders flying up towards the rail. It's Chip Chase alone again down the sprinter's lane. He says, sure, I'll keep it going. He's going to play the role of just keeping it quick. If you'll let me get away, I'll take the opportunity. The field playing the game right now. They're going to let him roll, and they'll go above the blue line, and they'll play a bit of a gambling game here. The gambler's game is, I don't know. I think you can't get away from us fast enough. We'll just sit up here and then sprint and catch you. And it looks like that will not be played by many, so enough riders are going to try to go back into pursuit. Things are looking a little bit different here now as we come around the corner, and we're looking at 2 to go. The race is getting awfully close to finishing up. We'll hear the bell next time around. Chip Chase looking over his shoulder, seeing the chase is underway. Number 131 makes his way all the way up. That's Matthew Brady in the blue. Swings out of the way and now is looking for someone else to take the lead. And indeed, it will be again our rider in blue and orange, Ben Flom, who just has, seems like it, a never-ending source of energy here. Just continues to turn over the pedals. He'll do so again coming into the sprint lap, but he's going to just set all these riders up for some really good speed on this final lap as they all line up right behind him. It's 1 to go on the wheels of Ben Flom. 1 to go. Find your rider and see how this thing plays out now. Behind Flom, I'm seeing Chris Wilson right there. He's going to try to launch the attack over the right-hand side, but he's got a fast finisher on his wheel also with Mario Sandoval. Here comes Cunningham as well, the rider in the white, trying to take things down the back straight. Good. Brandon Russell nice and low in an arrow position, trying to catch up as well. The rider that's in 4th in the lineup has got a good run out. Here comes Sandoval, the rider, the winner of the season last season, trying to ride on the back of Chris Wilson. Sandoval and Wilson. Wilson and Sandoval. Wilson with a great finish, 107 from the front, all the way out from 400 meters. Unchallenged. It was just such a fast race that some of these fast finishers couldn't hold and hang at the end. Wilson, a really strong overall competitor, finds the right mix of speed and timing and tactics. He takes it home on that final lap. Great race for Fountain Cycling Guild. They got to be happy with that. They take 1 and 2. Great race. Here comes up our next group to the rail. Cat 4 men to the rail, please. Cat 4 men. 2 more races tonight, folks. Thanks for sticking it out with us. Again, we've got 2 more groups coming to the rail. We got first up the Cat 4 men, then the Cat 3 men for scratch racing coming up. And 15 lap scratch race. That was a whistle indeed. We were off for the neutral. Neutral lap for the Cat 4 men in the scratch race. We'll start them out of turn 4 all together. On deck, Cat 3 men for the last race of the night. We got one more scratch to go after this one. And there's our second whistle. This one's signaling the start of the race. 15 to go. I would be remiss if I didn't mention one of our new partners and sponsors this year that's helping us on the live stream side of things. They've been helping us with our connectivity and trying to give us a more stable connection. Our thanks to T-Mobile for helping support and sponsor us this year and getting us a better connection out here. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's been challenging to get a nice, solid connection, but T-Mobile servicing our area well and has been stepping up big to help support us this season. Good early speed here in the first couple laps for the Cat 4 men. No points in the early laps, of course, in a scratch race or any laps, but still good tempo here in the early competition. Showing 12 to go as they came across the line last time. That's Trevor on the front of the lap now on the back straight as, again, pretty good speed here for our Cat 4 men who've had great racing today already. A big, long elimination. And the riders still showing up in good form here today for their last race of the night. And at 11 to go, the all-in-white of number 423, Ryan Havel, Taco Time Racing, question mark. Sometimes our riders don't get their teams updated between seasons, which is a good chance for me to serve as a reminder. If you did have a change of team and you haven't gone to velodrome.org account and updated that information, that would be really helpful to do that. So you go to velodrome.org on the My Account page if you've had a change of teams and you can put in that information there. That is always helpful for us, as that's the sort of the beginning point of grabbing your information that we see up here when I'm announcing them when we're looking at registration. So if you haven't done that and you had to change the team again, velodrome.org, go to My Account to make an update to your team for the year. Nine to go. Bit of rotation happening here at the front as riders taking their turns. We'll see Team Epic take their turn at the front. It's Gavin Newman at the front, and right behind him, another solid competitor today, Jamie Park, ready to take a jump at things, I'm sure. We saw what he was able to do all throughout tonight's competition, starting back with that good points race on his part. At 8 to go, it's relatively every starter is still here. We've lost a few along the way. The majority of the competitors are hanging on in this pretty good tempo. Quinn Kennedy off the front now a little bit, trying to really push the pace. They got good speed here at their opportunity to attack from the front, and many people are going to follow suit now, as it looks like a lot of the field's starting to respond with some great quickness. Home on the home straight here now at 7 to go. It's Kevin Ulrich catching up quickly, and then once he gets done with his pull, we'll get out of the way. Six to go. And there's Jamie Park, just mentioning him a bit ago, who was at the front. As it came across the line, he'll swing up and a few will follow suit. Sort of a moderate tempo now. Maybe a time to catch a little bit of breath. Again, so many of those early laps were looking pretty fast. Five laps remaining. Lost a few more in the recent speed, but we're pretty well together now. Whoa, big turn by 4-2-1. That's Gavin Newman. Wants to send an attack forward. His teammate says, I guess I'll try to join you, man. I wasn't ready for that. Jack Hampson in sort of the no man's land area right now between the field and the leader. Ryan Havel, number 423, I believe the rider in all white, also trying to join in on the fun. Nice quick turn from him as he makes his way up to Hampson pretty quick. And now it's going to be two trying to catch up to Gavin. Make it 3, 4, 5, 6 riders looking like they might be on par here to catch up to the young rider quickly. And we have ourselves sort of a transfer of the field. It's now time. It's scatter up to the front as the field transfers their way across that gap and joins Newman on the attack. He'll set back into the field now as we reform ourselves at 3 to go. Quinn Kennedy in good form today. They've been on the front a few times and made some attacks. Now riding high towards the rail. Swings back in onto the back half of the group. And as soon as Gavin sees open track, he's going to run at it. And a little bit of a mix-up there with the riders getting overtaken, but he navigates it pretty smoothly. Leaders seeing 2 to go. Newman looking over his shoulder, waiting to see what he can see. He sees his teammate. A couple riders getting caught on the back straight, so going down the lap, but it'll be the riders from Team Epic that take the lead now. Jack Hampson, that's the rider that continues to drive the train on a pretty long pole here. The rest of the field kind of looking around, trying to see how they can take advantage of the effort of Hampson on the front, but it will indeed be the bell lap at 1 to go. Good speed here in the Cat 4 men's scratch. Let's see who can capitalize at the end. Big jump from 408. Finishers coming into turn 2. Okay, Dan Pham, good move there. 408, Trevor Matsushima down the back straight, the lead rider. Matsushima still looking good. He's got white on his heels as Ryan Havel trying to hold on. Here comes Jamie Park. It's not going to be the juniors that did all the work to get to this position. It's 3 of our adult competitors coming around the corner and right down the center. It'll be Havel, number 423. 406 on the outside. Park will take second. And the early jump from Trevor Matsushima still pays off. He finds top 3, a 3rd place finish. Got to be happy with that tonight. A few more finishers coming to the finish line now. And as soon as they come across, we get them all through here, we'll bring out our last race and our last competition on this beautiful evening. Cat 3s are ready to come up here in just a moment. All right, Cat 3s to the rail. Our final scratch race tonight. And the whistle blows for neutral. Our final race of the night is a 25-lap scratch race for the Cat 3 men. I've got a good crew over here in corner one, the devotees that have been hanging out all night, cheering on for the teams. Appreciate seeing the fans out here. Nice job. Good times. I like seeing the picnic setup, bringing out the lawn chairs. It's the place to do it, man. There's some good spots around here to hang out and watch the racing. Good times. In the coming weeks, if you don't want to bring the picnic with you, you can always come on down unprepared, take a seat on the grandstands and grab some food from the food truck, or go ahead in the beverage garden and grab a beverage from Postdoc Brewery Locust Ciders. Postdoc, if you don't know them, they're right outside the park. Delicious things, of course. Postdoc has partnered with us the last few years. And Locust Ciders, another local company that's gone kind of national, is also serving. So that all starts up next week. You don't have to bring the picnic with you. You can just come on in and enjoy the fun. And the whistle signaling the beginning of the race. 25 to go. Cat 3 men. One lap down, Hume Lee in the yellow takes the effort across the line on this first lap. And Stanley Douglas will take over duties for him next. .23 laps to go. That's Peter Snoblin down the back straight at the lead. Ritter now taking over, and behind him is Merrick Gallagher. Some more names here in this group. Will Fowler now at the front. Z-Dog behind him. And David Branson next up in the lineup. If they keep kind of rolling down the line as we have been doing, right? Riders taking their fair share of the lead. Oh, Z-Dog says no thanks. Conserving for later. Ritter pulling pretty good here and taking a bit of a longer pull as part of this move and maneuver. He's got Tony Brevetti right there behind him. Ritter staying on it for a pretty good length of time. He continues to pull the group through turn 3. This might be a full lap effort here, kind of midway in the race. $19. Yeah, Ritter's like, I want this to be over with. Get me home, man. And it looks like we may have, exciting, our very first super chat on YouTube. Thank you, Cameron, for the donation. It looks like your request is for a preem. I need to check in with my team here. Do we have, I gotta look in your direction. Cash for preems. You don't know. Okay. Okay, fantastic. All right, we'll get one out in this race. I got a donation for the Cat 3s to get a preem. It's $5. I've got a $5. I got a $5 one. We can maybe make it 10. Can we make it 10? I'm looking for permission. All right, cool. We actually are going to use that in the coming weeks. We're going to start rolling out a program where we're going to ask for donations in the super chat, and anybody that's here or on the stream will be contributing towards a goal, essentially. If we hit it, we can do some really cool big preems. So it's going to be a way for us to do some crowd preems. So a nice little preview there. So thank you again, Cameron. That's awesome. Appreciate it. And it's kind of one of the new features after we hit partner status. We get to do a little bit more with the stream. So we look forward to doing that this season. Our plan is very first week of regular season, we're going to have a couple of those during the night. So look for that while you're watching next week even, as we'll have some cash on hand ready to try to support some preem donations. So we'll make it happen. And Snowblin out the front at 14 to go. A little bit of a solo break here. Trying to pull away from the group. I got $10 on an unknown lap between now and the end of the race. I'll ring it from up here for the riders. We'll do it this time. I think, again, our plan is moving forward, we'll have a bit of a better approach for how we want to meet our goals to make these ones happen. But it is fun to get. It's kind of like at the old school where people used to walk up and hand me a $5 bill and say, "You give that to the riders." It's like, okay, got it. Here we go. So it's cool to have that ability to do that from anywhere with anyone tuning in on the stream. Snowland caught. They saw 13 to go as they crossed the line, and now some of the movers and shakers sitting above the blue line, taking a bit of a pause here. Justin Captis down in the sprinters lane, 368. Right alongside Luke Wilson, we saw those two duke it out in the elimination. So certainly two to continue watching in this scratch race. Luke has been pretty dominant tonight, certainly trying to make an effort, make a run at some upgrade points in the beginning of the season, try to maybe work his way into a Cat 1-2 by the end. And that's part of that strategy here, showing up in the preseason. You can get your upgrade points even before the season points open up. All right. My bad. 11 to go. You were, Mr. Ritter. You were. See, that's why I like Mike Ritter so much. I feel like I can talk my mouth out all night long, and the racers all say they didn't hear a thing I said. But if I can't get anything past that guy, Mike's out there. He's hearing like everything I'm saying. He's tuned in. Man. We got another $5. Oh my gosh, we're adding it. Okay, so it's legit. We have $10 donated through Super Chats. Thank you, fans. Bam, we got a $10 premium. It's supported by the viewers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at that. All right, supported by the watchers. We're going to give somebody in this group, and again, I get to pick the lap. I already have. I'm just not telling anybody, and I'll ring the bell, and we'll get that premium prize out. Thank you very much. Super fun. Super fun Super Chats. Very cool. All right, grouping up a little bit under the Stanley sign, under currently under the power of Luke Wilson. They kind of sitting at that blue line area, allowing for room mostly to the left. Riders could speed up quickly down the sprinter's lane. 9 to go. Again, the fan-raised $10 premium yet to come. Across the line with 9 laps remaining. And crowd premium at 8 to go. 8 to go. We got the crowd premium. $10 to lead the lap. $10 to lead the lap. Z-Dog says, oh yeah. Let's go get the cash money. Uh-oh. He's not alone though. Is that Peter Stoblin? I think it is. Snowblin's making a big run at it here. Z-Dog, Snowblin around the corner. The big sprint for the $10. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Snowblin. I think we'll take that. Oh my gosh. Good times. Snowblin is $10 richer. So he'll pay for tonight's race registration. He's like, I'll take it. And then he's going to ride the blue line and let this thing slow back down again. Oh boy. Well, thank you for that, everybody. That's good times. Come around the corner on the home straight with 6 to go. Snowblin's looking down saying, yowcha. Why did I do that? A little bit of rest for the field now as they'll come up to the rail. Or in the direction of the blue line, I should say. Definitely taking a bit of a breather here after the sprint for the preem. The field's not too interested in having anybody pop off the front at the moment, so at 5 to go. Raiders guarding the front of this thing now. Wilson on his right. Cactus on his left. All right, we're not doing a blue line preem, everybody. Four to go. That was a fun sprint. Good to see. Again, thanks to the fans. That's fun. And I think it's a good preview for how things can look and will look more during the regular season. The advantages that we are offered, the power of technology, and the, of course, the leverage of our great community, and leveraging our great community, I should say, for all of their charity and support, and the coming together around our race nights. That'll only grow as we continue to do what we're doing here. So thanks again. We hit the last 3 laps here with everybody still touring that blue line. They're really trying to figure out the lay of the middle of the track. Ritter and Wilson riding side by side, still kind of in that middle ground. I think Merrick's happy with that. He's just riding right behind Luke Wilson's wheel saying, sure thing. Captain, you just keep on going. We got this. Certainly Snowblin's happy with the consistent tempo. After the big effort for the $10, he's just hanging in there right now and still allowing a little bit more time for recovery. And that's only good news for him. And 2 to go. Maybe we should remove a lap because they just rolled out that extra distance. All right, off we go for the finish here as we start to pick things up. They know the bell's coming quick, so it's Luke Wilson that jumps things up first. Gallagher's still glued onto that wheel, the rider with the red helmet, trying to stay on it close. And the next attack comes from Fowler with the white helmet. Looking quick out of turn 4. He's going to launch the move that it was right in front of him. He's going to make the move happen, see what he can do with it. Good turn of speed for Fowler out of turn 4. Losing a little bit of momentum on the back straight. Can he hold this? He's trying to climb away from the rest of the group. Tony Brevetti's right there on his wheel. He's going to try to make a run on it. Now here comes Wilson starting to re-accelerate. Gallagher, who's been on that wheel all race, is like, I got this. Gallagher makes a good run at it too. A good acceleration from the junior coming out of the corner. Here comes Brevetti. Here comes Fowler. Brevetti, Fowler. Gallagher makes a good run at it, but it will be Brevetti taking the win. Gallagher with a smart race tonight comes across the line second, and Fowler with that explosive move about 500 meters out holds on for third. But Z-Dog is our favorite in our hearts. Oh, man. Good times, folks. Thanks, everybody, for coming out and making tonight what it was. Thanks to our athletes for a great show this evening. Thanks to the fans for sticking around here in person. Love to see so many of you. Please keep making your way out to the Velodrome. You make this place a special place. We get people from all across the world that come out to this Velodrome and say, you have the best crowds, and we know it. No special facility. We're just outside hanging out in a park, and we got better fans and better showing up than just about anywhere. So thanks for making the trek out here. Thanks to our officials and all of our volunteers. Thanks to the live stream crew for supporting and getting this out for all the folks that are watching at home. If you're still here, make sure you hit that thumbs up and the subscribe on the YouTube channel. We'd appreciate it before you head off for the evening. And folks, we got the kickoff next Friday. Don't forget, May 26th, and a special session on May 27th at 6 p.m. Can't wait to do some more racing here, and we look forward to hosting you again for more great racing at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.